Hello, everyone. Let's talk about the violence happening in South Africa against other Africans pretty quickly. For context, my name is Dr. G. That's how I call myself. My name is Amadake. I have a PhD and I happen to have that PhD from a university in South Africa, Stellenbosch. And then, I've been in and out of South Africa since 2019. Um, I could have applied for my degree a little earlier, but then when the idea came somewhere in 2016, I had to shelve it because I was scared of violence, xenophobia, etc. Until 2019, when the scholarship that I was hoping to get didn't come true. And South Africa happens to have one of the best PhDs on the continent and also in the world, but then they do not charge as much. So, well, you're looking at about 10 years of your savings, but you do not have to sell your kidney, if you know what I mean. Um, the very first day that I entered South Africa, I had one of the guys at where I was lodging, and I asked where I could get some few things to buy. He said, "Just walk down the street. There is Checkers, but don't worry, you look like us, so nothing will happen to you." That was so scary. And since then, anytime I go, someone is always prompting you that, well, don't worry, where we are saving is safe. There are securities around, so you do not have to be worried. South Africans themselves are security conscious, right? And then they tell you that. So it's a place where I have always felt unsafe, but I've actually never been saved. So I've never been attacked. But one thing that I notice, especially from the black South Africans, is that they ask you, when are you leaving? Like, it matters to them that you do not stay in their country. I had one of my colleagues, I think he was on the master's program, he approached me once and then he said, "Oh, where do you come from?" I said, "Ghana." And he was like, "Well, so when are you also packing your bag and baggage and moving in here?" And I was like, "Excuse me." Then he apologized, but I think that for some reason they do not want you in their country. Let's just watch this video and then we'll come back pretty quickly. Well, so that was in South Africa, of South Africans attacking um I don't know if it was a Ghanaian, but someone from another African country. The last time that I was in Cape Town, we, with my mom and my son, actually, we got a car, taking us back to our Airbnb, and how the driver acted, it was this violence. He wouldn't help us. If we were Nigerians, he wouldn't have picked us. There was this anger in him. Luckily for us, we were Ghanaians, so they did not attack us, or he did not attack us. But let's look at the other.
We are fixing this continent. This thing of you guys moving from one country to the other, it's no longer working. We don't want this as African people anymore. We are tired of seeing African migrants moving all over the world, refusing to fix your own countries. Now we're making it very clear to you guys, Utitina, we don't want you here. We want you to fix your countries. Now you came here with a traveling document. You came with a passport. You know that you are a visitor, but when now you decided to come and integrate in our communities.
Okay, so let's talk about a few things that I don't understand what she was talking about. As someone that has been to South Africa, this is quite appalling and difficult to watch, that you stop another African, you are South African, right? And you stop another African, a Ghanaian for that matter, who is not causing trouble, who has his travel documents, and you are saying, why is he integrated in your community? It doesn't make sense. And she went on to ask if it's a South African in Ghana, would the person have done the same? Yes, when you move to a different location, you integrate. That is what you do. like that is what normal people do. When you move from one country to the other, you integrate, you accept the people, you take them as your own, their culture, you adopt it, you learn, and that is how enlightenment actually happens, right? How you get to learn, and then also how you get to eliminate some misconceptions, biases, stereotypes. That is how it is done, right? Ghana is not underdeveloped. I had a host once says, "Oh, I want to teach you how to use the TV, the microwave, the washing machine." I was like, "Hello, where do you think I'm coming from? Under the rock? Like, do you think Ghanaians live in a cage?" So it is quite appalling to see South Africans behave in this manner, right? When people visit you, they integrate. And if you are in Ghana, will you do the same? Absolutely so. In fact, Ghanaians will be happy that you are integrating, you are learning their language, you are eating their food. They will be overjoyed. They will accept you and they'll treat you better than they treat other Ghanaians. That is how it is done. When you have a visitor, you give them the best, the very best. That is how it's done in other parts of Africa, which you are also part of. In fact, you carry the name Africa, so you are African. I agree that we need to fix African countries. Um, and I also agree that Ghanaians would have to speak out for Ghana to be fixed to the level that we want it. But I would not leave Ghana and trade it for South Africa. I have been there, never in this life will I ever do that. Unless, of course, I have an offer that slaps the face and I can't say no to. Other than that, nope. I'm not staying there because, as I said earlier, I always felt unsafe. The men, some can be aggressive sexually. They meet you and they want to come into your, like, no, that is not a life. Ghanaian men don't do that, right? So I think Ghanaians should just stay at home. Learn to stay at home and let's learn to call our politicians out so that they fix our country. They have potholes too. We also have potholes. So, well, what exactly are you looking for there, if you ask me? So I agree that we need to fix our various countries in Africa as a continent. We need to develop, and I'm happy you said that. But guess what? You are also African, and you are very black, just like me, or you are even darker than I am. So yes, we are fixing Africa and we are all doing it together. And the next time that you see an African close to you, welcome them and give them the best of your food because that is what other Africans do. Stop discriminating against African. This guy is basically causing no trouble. And you say, why was his passport certified? That is what happens. If you are not going to carry your original passport on you, the commissioner of oath right here in Ghana will certify you, make some photocopies, and he will certify them for you. So that if authority meets you on the street anywhere and you bring it out, everyone knows that it's a true certified copy of your passport. Anyway, get over the ignorance and travel, South Africans. Travel. That is how you do away with the stereotypes. We are not living in a cage. Bye.